Hi, thanks so much for joining in. You're watching Ask Profit on NDTV Profit. My name is Mathew, and with me is Smriti Chaudhary, and we will take you through the next half an hour or so of trade. And now, it's an interesting day of trade, and we'll get to that in just a bit. But before that, you see that number on your screen. That is where you send your queries to us. This show is geared towards getting you answers to all of your stock-related questions. And you can send them on that number, or in fact, you can send it on any one of our social media platforms. But take a look at what you see on the screen, which is the Nifty 50 trading very comfortably above the 22,200 mark. And it is, in fact, trading with gains of about 0.5%. It is off the high point of the day, and quite a lot of those gains are contributed to by one stock. But before we get to that one stock, let's talk about the broader markets. The broader markets are gaining about 0.5% for the mid-cap index and a little over that for the small-cap index. And I would hazard a guess to say that the market breadth is tilted very firmly in favor of the advances as a result of that. There you go. So it is a smaller degree than you saw earlier on in the session, but it continues to hold out. Now let's jump to HDFC Bank, which is arguably the stock of the day today, and what a move. Of course, this is something that we were anticipating based on the move in the ADR overnight, and this is because it has come to light that the foreign institutional holding in this bank as of the end of June has come down. And this is ahead of the rejig of the MSCI index, as a result of which there is an expectation that there will be considerable amount of inflow into the bank, because the weightage of HDFC Bank in that index is set to go up quite substantially from a little over 3% to closer to 7%. And that's going to be a sizable inflow. In anticipation of that, you're seeing a move in HDFC Bank. But the other thing that you need to understand is that there is pricing action on account of expiry of the weekly options today in the Bank Nifty, and HDFC Bank accounting for a large chunk of that is causing quite a bit of a flutter. To tell you about what the latest cues are on that front, I'm joined by Agam Vakil. Agam, it's an interesting day to say the least.
It certainly is, and truth be told, there were a handful of analysts out there who were in fact suggesting and expecting HDFC Bank to advance, not necessarily only because of the MSCI gains, or potential gains there. Now, this is the last 6 months chart. As you can see today, this is today's up move here. The last time we saw HDFC Bank trade around these levels was all the way back in January. Since then, it actually did see a very sharp correction, because that was when the third quarter earnings had come. On the single day, it was down about 5 to 6%, and it hasn't recovered since then. But today is a day when it has, in fact, not only recovered those losses, but moved into a new zone. Uncharted territory, lifetime high for HDFC Bank. And this is something that a lot of traders were not counting on. We have now seen about 6% added in open interest, even as the spot itself advances by around 3%. And it's not every day that HDFC Bank makes a 3% up move. It's just one of those days. Now, what has that come to, and what kind of implication does it have as far as the shorts are concerned in the system? HDFC 1800 shorts, well, there you have it, are actually looking at covering. But because of the fact that today is the Bank Nifty expiry, let's pull that open interest distribution chart up for the Bank Nifty now. What's really happened is that until yesterday, we had a significant amount of open interest around the 52,500 call. If and when the Bank Nifty did move higher, and now it is currently sitting somewhere around 53,100 thereabout, this has actually forced a lot of those call writers to cover their shorts up. And in fact, we're now starting to see, because of that covering of shorts, that further impetus, the further gain, the further up move as far as not just HDFC Bank goes, but also the Bank Nifty. And remember that HDFC Bank has a 28% weightage on the Bank Nifty, a near 12% weightage on the Nifty, and it just so happens that today is the weekly options expiry, and that's the reason why we're seeing that rapid covering of shorts of the higher level calls, not just in HDFC Bank, but in the Bank Nifty as well. And that, to a certain extent, has also had a part to play as far as your up move on the Bank Nifty is concerned.
All right. Thank you so much, Agam, for that. And on that note, let me introduce you to the guests for today. We have Astha Jain, Senior Research Analyst of Hem Securities, and Vaishali Parekh, Vice President Technical Research at Prabhudas Lilladher. Thank you so much for joining in, and it's a pleasure having you both on the show. Let's start off with you, Asta. While Agam has spoken about the technicals, about how the bank Nifty is playing out, let's talk about the fundamentals of HDFC Bank. While the news, we're seeing inflows because of this news. The stock is about 3% higher. Let's talk about deposit growth and NIMs. We've seen a healthy growth since that down move we saw in January. How do you see this kind of panning out, and is there a long-term target on this one?
Yes, so now talking about this counter, first of all, yes, we are positive on this counter, recommending a buy with a price target of 1850 at the current juncture. So this is what we are recommending for HDFC Bank. Now, if we talk about fundamentals, so yes, the deposit growth, which is a crucial part of any banking company, is really now working in the favor of bank. And what is more positive about this bank is their asset quality, which always remain favorable for the bank, and asset quality is really in their favor. In fact, going ahead, what we are expecting that NIMs to improve performance going ahead, and in fact credit demand also to show growth. So on the basis of all these factors, all these fundamentals, we are positive on the stock. And apart from that, this news flow has really added advantage for the stock. So looking after all this, we are positive on this counter, recommending a buy as well as hold with the initial price target of 1850.
Okay. I do want to very quickly go across to you, Vaishali, on the Nifty Bank. Hopefully you've heard what Agam was talking about in terms of what's developing. What strategy or advice would you give to people who have perhaps been caught on the wrong foot?
Very good morning. Actually, well, we saw a good breakout coming in, and well, we were always very positive on Bank Nifty because we were waiting for this up move to start in HDFC Bank, and that was lagging behind. So I would say, well, now that Bank Nifty is sustaining about 53,000, in all likelihood, this in times to come can go towards 55,000 and higher. So our view for Bank Nifty is quite positive, and well, we need good participation still furthermore to come from HDFC Bank, Kotak Bank, etc. And my view pretty much matches with Asta, because technically also we have recommended a buy on HDFC Bank, looking at a trading target of 1850.
All right, let's jump straight into the queries. The first one is on Podar Pigments. That's the counter that we're talking about. The question is, the question is coming in from Nikhat from Bangalore. Let's start off with this one only. It's currently trading at about 444 rupees. The buy price is 426. Vaishali, I'm going to come to you on this one. For somebody who's holding this counter, I haven't previously looked at the counter, but in the last couple of sessions, there's been a downtrend in the counter. Do you suggest holding on to this?
I am unable to get this chart. Can you just, is this an NSE stock or a BSE stock?
Yes, it's an NSE stock.
PODDAR, Podar Pigments.
Yes, I got it, yes. So, well, I would say there's nothing wrong with the stock right now, considering that it's already in an uptrend and there is just a little bit of consolidation. So, as long as 430, 420 levels are held on as support, I think this stock should once again pick up, and I would maintain a range of 430 to 480. Above 480, it gathers further conviction for higher targets of 520.
Okay. I'm hoping that you can give us some advice or, give us some comments, Asta, on Salazar Techno Engineering. It's currently trading in 19.19. This is a question coming in from Shiv Kumar. He's viewing this from Dubai. And he's bought in April of 2024, not too long back. He's looking at the prospects both for the short term as well as for the long term. He's bought at levels of 21.09, which is not too far away from the buy price, but he's still losing ground. What advice would you give him?
So basically, this company, as far as I remember, it is into the steel fabrication, etc. But I have not tracked the recent financials of the company. So apologies on that part. I cannot comment on the recent financial performance. But I know the company is basically into this business only. But other details I really need to see, because I'm not tracking this counter. So apologies on that part.
Okay, fair point. But then, so since you're not covering it, and since the drawdown for the investor is not very significant. Can you suggest in an allied sector or in the same sector, if you have another stock in your coverage that you are bullish on, or that you have a target on that has not yet been hit, is there a better opportunity there that you would suggest?
Yes, we like AIA engineering a lot. So if I talk about this counter AIA engineering, the financial performance was not very strong, although in the Q4 of FY24. But what we believe that going ahead, the companies, there were certain issues in their exports market, and that's why the company was not able to perform strongly. But now those issues got resolved. So what we believe that this counter is poised for strong returns going ahead. So we are positive on AIA engineering, recommending a buy as well as hold. Price target 4,400 to 45.
All right. The next counter is Tata Technologies. The question is from Sumesh, who's writing in from Kerala. They bought the counter at a price of 1,140 rupees, higher than where it's currently trading at. Asa, from a fundamental point of view, should somebody continue holding on to it? This from a longer term perspective, and if you have any target as well on the counter.
Yes, we are positive on the counter since the IPO came, few months back. So we are positive on this counter as of now also. Although the price valuations are now stretched, but going ahead, the kind of segments they are into, those segments will be definitely getting more and more demand. And we believe that this company will show strong financial performance going ahead. So positive on Tata Technologies. Initial price target, although we set it around 1,200 to 1,250.
Okay, I know that we took a view on the Bank Nifty, but we've got a specific trade that somebody wants to know about, Vaishali. Today's expiry, 53,000 call. Rishabh Mehta wants to know whether to hold on or get out of this trade.
Sorry, there's a lot of disturbance. You'll have to repeat the question.
So this is on the Bank Nifty, and it's a specific trade. The expiry is today, 3rd of July. 53,000 strike on the Bank Nifty. Would you hold or would you sell?
I would say hold.
Okay.
All right. The next question is, okay, this one's from Amit. They're writing in from Mumbai. The question is about BPCL and HPCL. So there was a bonus issue, and after that we saw a price correction because of that. Asa, would you suggest buying at this juncture? Should you wait for more correction in these two counters?
So I will wait for more corrections right now before giving any buy call. So maybe the better levels are around 285 to 290, where BPCL can be looked after. In fact, after a few days, we have the result season also start kicking in. So I think after seeing the results also, we will give more clear picture. But what we are positive about this counter in the long term is about the refining margins. Although the refining margins in the quarter gone by were a miss, but I think going ahead, we will definitely see an improvement on that part. And on that basis, we are positive on this counter. But still, if anyone don't want to take risk, then they can wait for the results and then take a call. And our ultimate price target for the same is 335. But buying levels are not at the current price. Maybe a fall can be expected, and then one can make an entry into the counter.
All right. BPCL, like several other PSUs, has done reasonably well. If you can call a 35% upside in 2024 reasonable. Suresh Suri has got the next question. He's writing in from Nellore. He's asking about Ashok Leyland, and this one's for you, Vaishali. He's looking for a technical view on the stock. He's bought at levels of 180, and the stock is currently trading at 226. So it is well above his buy price. What should he do right now, though?
Well, the stock is showing signs of exhaustion. So I would say that yes, partial profit booking should not be ruled out, because we have seen a one-way rally coming right from 160 to around 240, 250 levels, 240 levels. So I think partial profit booking would be my way of recommendation in this stock.
All right. The next counter is DLF. The question is from Sumit Ghosh, who's writing from Kolkata. They bought the counter at a price of 839. It's currently trading below that price. Vaishali, the time horizon is 6 months. Now, the stock has done decently well in the last 1 year. What's your projection for the next 6 months?
So I would say, well, overall, property index, I mean, realty sector is doing very well. But well, at this juncture, where the market is right now, it's hard to tell. But I would, this stock-specific view, I would say 800 should be the level to watch for. If we break 800 levels, then this stock can get into corrective move. However, if this stock manages to move above 880 to 890, then we could see a further higher price projection of 950 to 1000 levels. So for now, near-term basis, it's a cautious approach right now.
Okay, fair point. All right. We have to slip into a very quick break. We'll be back on the other side to take more of your questions, so do stay tuned.
Welcome back. You're tuned in to Ask Profit. The next question is from Praveen, who's writing in from Chennai. The question is on Aditya Birla Fashion Retail. They bought the counter at a price of 220 rupees. It's now trading above that price, 326. Asta, this from a longer term perspective. Demerger on the cards for this counter as well. Is there a price target on this, and are you constructive on this counter going forward, considering the competition in the space as well?
Yes, we are constructive on this counter because what we see is that on the basis of the premiumization, new launches, I mean, they will definitely be gaining momentum going ahead also, if I particularly talk about this counter or a company as a whole. So I think on the basis of this, we are positive on the counter and we are recommending a hold on this counter with the initial price target. Aditya Birla Fashion Retail, for fashion retail can be set at around 360 to 370.
All right. ITC is the next counter. We've got Sai, who is tuning in from Chennai and who has bought at levels of 440, slightly elevated levels. The stock is currently trading at 427. The question is, should he hold or should he sell? Vaishali, what's your view on the charts?
Well, there's nothing really happening in this counter right now, but technically, I mean, I think this is a safe bet because this is not really participated and it's just into a consolidation mode. So I would say 400 would act as a crucial support, and going ahead, we would look at a target of 460 to 480. So accumulation in stocks like these should be the strategy.
All right. Next question is from Satya. Now, they say they want to invest in two stocks from perspective of 1 to 2 years. One is GE Shipping. They want to know the buying levels in this counter, and if there's a second stock that Astha you can suggest apart from GE Shipping.
Okay, so we are positive on defense companies, in which Zen Technologies is looking very strong to us. So Zen Technologies is the one stock which we have already given buy rating on, and it has really risen high also since last 2 days. So this is the one counter we are still liking it, but not at the present moment. Maybe some dips can be awaited before making an entry into this counter. So first stock is Zen Technologies. Another stock is NBCC. NBCC, although we have seen some sort of fall in the prices since last few days, but I think yesterday they tried to make a positive movement, and even today also. So NBCC is the another counter which we are liking. And third one is ICICI Bank from the banking space, because we know that ICICI Bank is one of the major bank in this space, and we are expecting strong credit growth as well as improvement in their asset quality going ahead also. Also, they have shown a very strong improvement in the asset quality, because previously their portfolio was majorly into the SME segment, and now they have totally diverted it into the other segments, especially in the retail. So I think looking after this also, we are positive on ICICI Bank, recommending a buy on this counter with a price target of 1400.
Subhabrata Bhaumik is writing in from West Bengal, and he's asking about NTPC, which he's bought 800 shares of at a price of 347. And remember, this is a counter, if we can pull up the 1 year chart, this is a counter that has doubled practically, if I'm not mistaken. The last I looked at it, it has, so very close to doubled over that period. Of course, he's bought at slightly elevated levels. So the question is, should he hold on? And he's looking at a very long-term time frame, something like 5 years. Astha, should he hold on? And what's the view on NTPC for 5 years?
NTPC, yes, it's a hold with a price target of 420 to 430 at the initial juncture, and the long-term horizon is also looking good, because what we are seeing that the spread between the plant load factor is really reducing, and that will really help the company in going ahead, showing the strong financial performance also. So NTPC and power demand is still intact. We all know that. So I mean, the industry tailwind is strong for this counter. Yes, NTPC is still a hold candidate with a price target of 420 to 430 at the initial levels.
All right, the next counter is Zomato. The question is from Sushila. They've bought at a price of 119 rupees. It's currently trading at 208 rupees. Vaishali, would you suggest holding on to it, or should you book profits?
I think there's no exhaustion in the indicators right now. I think continue holding with a trailing stop loss, because in all likelihood this stock can go towards 225 to 250 levels. So my view for now is positive.
I'm actually curious, because we were speaking about this this morning. Is there any downside on the fundamentals that you can expect based on an IPO in Swiggy, Astha? Is that something that you're considering?
But sometimes what happens actually when IPO of the peer company comes, it really drives the stock price on the upward trajectory. This is what I have seen in the past few years, that the same company, the peer space company are really showing strong momentum if the company's IPO, if the same space company's IPO is coming. And talking about Zomato, yes, they're all four verticals are doing very, very strong. Food delivery business, if we talk about that, and the other businesses also are really strong, and they have a strong brand. So I think going ahead also, Zomato will continue to gain that traction, and we are positive on this counter with a price target of 240.
Okay, I'm trying to pull up Sequent Scientific, and the reason behind this is because we've got a viewer who was tuned in and asked about it. I do not know about the buy price, but he's got a long-term view on this. Vemanna is writing in from Hyderabad. The stock is currently trading at 126 or thereabouts. Vaishali, I want to ask you about the price trends here and the technical levels to watch out for. Where would you put a stop loss, and what are the key levels to watch here?
Well, so my observation right now, after seeing the weekly chart as well as the daily chart, the stock is definitely showing signs of improvement. So I would say, well, for a longer term perspective, perspective, 100 should be the level to watch for. 100 below 100, the view gets negated. Whereas right now, I would see a range of 100 to 150, 160. Above 160, the stock is ready for higher targets, because if you see the past history, what we see right from the fall of 335 levels, we have seen the stock really correcting, and now we are seeing the signs of revival. So I would have a positive view, and for a near term, if you were to act for a shorter period, then I think 108 should be the stop.
All right. Next counter is Jindal Stainless. The question is from Dhruvaj. Astha, this is from a 5-year time horizon. They bought at 435 levels. It's doubled in the last 1 year. Do you suggest holding on to this or maybe book some profits?
Holding the stock will be a better option, I think, and we are recommending a hold with a price target at the initial level from around 830 to 840. So now talking about this counter, although the Q4 was a muted counter for this company because they have shown degrowth on the Y-on-Y basis. But overall, if I look at the picture of the stock, what is financial performance they have shown, especially on the full year of FY24 basis, they have shown a strong growth of more than 10% in their bottom line. So I think this counter is really strong. Going ahead also, the metal sector is looking very strong to us. So industry tailwind will be there, and that will definitely help this company to show strong financial performance as well as stock performance. Recommending our hold with a price target of 840.
Okay, very quick question, very quick answer on Canara Bank. This one's for you, Vaishali. We've got a viewer, KV Prasad, who's bought a significant quantity, 6,550 shares at a level of 90 rupees. Can he accumulate further and hold for a period of 1 year is the question.
Well, I think market is quite overbought, and I think Canara Bank also has done very well. Right now, I'm seeing some sort of fatigue. So if this stock closes below 115, this can call for a corrective move. So my view would be to book partial profit and wait for a dip to get again into the stock.
All right, and with that, we're at the end of this edition of Ask Profit. Thank you so much, Astha and Vaishali, for joining in, for taking your time out. Viewers, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow and we'll take more questions, but don't go anywhere. We have lots more lined up for you on NDTV Profit.
Hello and welcome. This is Hot Money. I'm Agam Vakil, and in this show we take you through all the stocks which are buzzing in trade or have been the flavor of the season. But before that, we take a quick look at how markets are faring well this Wednesday morning, and we have advances for the banks. Essentially, is the banking index which is leading the Nifty higher. Sure enough, the Nifty is up by as much as 0.5%, but the bank Nifty is up as much as 1.7%, and all thanks to HDFC Bank. The weightage on this one is 28%, and HDFC Bank's weightage on the Nifty is, well, about 12%. So naturally, we will have an impact considering HDFC Bank is on an up move of as much as 3% as well in today's day of trade. I think the real question is, what are the other contributors as far as this up move is concerned? So let's very quickly take a look at the constituents of the Nifty. Notwithstanding HDFC Bank, leaving that aside, we have advances for ICICI Bank along with Kotak Mahindra Bank as well, which is providing the bulk of the gains. And of course, on the other hand, you have something like a Reliance Industries, TCS. Not as much weakness there, but still giving providing a counter of sorts as far as that is concerned. But on the whole, of course, we continue to see positive traction as far as markets are concerned. Let's take a look at the broader market indices as well. Is there outperformance? Not as much as far as the mid-cap index is concerned. It continues to move up higher as much as 0.5%. The small-cap index continues to outperform. So this is where we've seen an up move around 0.8%. Of course, I'm not going to compare the mid-cap and the small-cap indices with the bank Nifty, because today is clearly the day where the private sector banks provide that impetus upwards, and the bank Nifty consequently is currently trading about the mark of 53,000. Besides the HDFC Bank, we have gains at Federal Bank, IDFC First, Karnataka Bank. So a lot of your relatively smaller names are also starting to show a lot of strength. They're all up and about. But with that, we shift focus to what has been the bone of contention of late, especially after the SEBI has, well, issued instructions that, broking charges will, of course, see an impact. And this is on account of your market, institutions which are likely to, in fact, have a little bit more of a level playing field, if I can call it that, when it comes to charges coming in. And that will eventually have an impact on what brokerages have to charge their investors. Now, based on the updates that we had on Monday and based on what the SEBI has been telling us, yesterday we had a tweet from one of the promoters of one of the largest broking houses, that's Zerodha, that's Nitin Kamath, and he said that this will certainly have an impact on discount broking companies like his, and because of that, the consequence is that there will likely be, firstly, a withdrawal of the zero brokerage policy as far as delivery trades are concerned, and this could likely lead to higher brokerage rates as far as F&O transactions go as well. Now, to understand this and take this forward, well, we are in conversation with Jimit Modi. He's the founder and CEO of Samco Securities. Jimit, good afternoon. Thanks for taking the time out. I want to better understand your point of view from here. And if I'm not mistaken, Samco Securities also provides, a discount brokerage, and you guys also follow a discount brokerage model. What's the way ahead? Should we see one of these leading brokerages, increase brokerages? Firstly, do you think that it will mean a substantial amount in terms of increase in brokerages? And what's the way forward for the sector?
So, first of all, thank you very much. Very good afternoon to you as well. If you look at the impact, just to take a step back and understand what is the impact of the circular. So far, market infrastructure intermediaries, which is basically the stock exchanges, they used to provide volume-based discount to brokers. So, up to let's say a monthly turnover of 1,250 crore rupees, brokers used to be charged 3.25 rupees per lakh of turnover. And then beyond that, for the next 1,250 crores, you used to be charged 3 point and so on